Firefighting in Canada this week is brought to you by VFIS of Canada, a division of CVIS Incorporated, Canada's largest insurer of firefighters. This week, a new report gives insight into the nature and prevalence of firefighter injuries. Then, an Ontario initiative is working to make farm property addresses more visible for first responders. And our latest podcast dives into this year's Fire Prevention Week theme. A new systematic review and meta-analysis produced by Firewell has shown not only a high incidence of firefighter injury, but differences in the location of pain experienced by men and women. The report, titled Prevalence of Musculoskeletal Disorders Among Canadian Firefighters, was authored by Goris Nazari, Joy McDermott, and Heidi Cram. The observational study examined 5 qualifying pieces of existing literature on pain and injury in Canadian firefighters. The body of research showed firefighters are injured at a much higher rate than the general public. For example, 23% of firefighters reported shoulder pain when compared to an incidence of 6% in Canadians as a whole, shared McDermott, who is the scientific director at Firewell. The data also suggested men and women differ in where they report injuries. Shoulder and knee pain are reported more often by men, whereas neck, elbow, and hand were more frequently cited by women. While the observational nature of the study does not offer firm conclusions as to the cause of injuries, it does allow for hypothesis and recommendation into looking further at the biomechanical differences between genders, said McDermott.
The fact that men and women differ in the types of injuries that they more commonly have might suggest that we need to look in more detail at the biomechanics of how women and men are doing their tasks to see if that accounts for some of the differences, or it might suggest that we might need to develop training specifically for men and women.
The full report can be read online in the Journal of Military Veteran and Family Health. An Ontario initiative called Farm 911, the Emily Project, is working to improve emergency services for rural residents. Farm accidents happen in remote areas, and property entrances aren't always marked with the location address. This can impede first responders trying to locate the patient. Farm 911, the Emily Project, is working to build a unified system of 911 signs for rural properties and encourages municipalities and landowners to use the service. The website serves as a hub where landowners can order signs bearing civic addresses to ensure all their property entrances are marked and visible to emergency services. The website also shares further mandates undertaken by the project. The initiative is being done in the name of Emily Trudeau, a 7-year-old who died in a farming accident in 2014. This year's Fire Prevention Week theme focuses on an area of the house that's seen a lot of use with COVID-19 keeping so many Canadians at home. That room is the kitchen. The NFPA's 2020 Fire Prevention Week theme is Serve Up Fire Safety in the Kitchen. Laura King, Canadian Regional Education Specialist with the NFPA, dives into the details of this year's theme in the latest episode of Firefighting in Canada, the podcast.
Cooking fires, and particularly unattended cooking, is the number one cause of structure fires and kitchen fires across North America, and also of fire injury. So we know that we have a huge target audience. We know that it's relevant in every community, and we know that people who are looking at data and able to then develop community risk reduction programs and plans can take all of the resources that we're providing without having to sort of start from scratch.
Fire Prevention Week will run October 4th to 10th. To listen to the podcast and start planning your prevention week, visit firefightingincanada.com. Thanks again to VFIS of Canada, a division of CVIS Incorporated, Canada's largest insurer of firefighters. Stay tuned for our next episode on Friday, June 12th.